Curious sketches on the back pages of the bishop's own Bible. Okay, so we're back to church to inspect the paintings. Apparently. If we can. Can we possibly do that? Eighth station of the cross. Discoveries. The savior of mankind being treated every which way except for how he should. They all came to see the last stages of Jesus' mortal life. The geometric decoration on this clay pot has an indentation in it. Really, like the first painting and I already found the secret. Amazing. Has an indentation. Yeah, can we well, yeah, can we... Apparently we can't interact with it. Maybe I haven't found anything yet to interact with. Or can we do it with matches? Okay. Maybe not yet. Discoveries. A hole in the panel where Bartholomew hid previously, with some effort I could reach it. What's this? A hexagonal metal tube? I shall hold onto this until I can make sense of its purpose. My opinion has not changed. It looks a most uncomfortable seat. Okay, now I can use it. The tube fits in the indentation. It appears I can use this tool to rotate part of the painting. I won't tamper with it until I have an idea of what I plan to achieve. Well, I guess for that purpose we have to interact with other paintings.
Oh.
The Station of the Cross painting. Nothing particularly noticeable stands out to me. A Station of the Cross painting. Nothing particularly noticeable. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
So they're all just useless. It's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, I'm not planning to leave yet. Hello? Alright, but there's also on the other side.
Oh.
Okay. Well, there were some drawings in the Bible, right?
Oh.
Yeah. We'll take a look at that in a second. Oh, there's another one I can interact with, maybe? Veronica wiping Jesus' face.
Oh.
Signed Percy Blackford. The headdress is much in such a vibrant color of yellow. If this were an original painting from the era of Percy Blackford, the bright yellow of the headdress would have dulled considerably. I suspect this painting to be a forgery of the original. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The seventh station of the cross painting was most definitely here earlier. Where could it have gone? Ideas? Perhaps we'll take a minute to consider our unsolved mysteries. There's none. I mean, why we are with him? He is totally useless.
Huh. Ah.
So it's like this and horizontal. Okay.
Ah.
The cross. Okay.
Aha.
His final stumble before reaching Calvary.
Ah.
The cross, yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Fits. It appears I can use the tool, yeah. I sure hope that now we look at the Bible and he's like, oh, there are some interesting drawings. No? I mean, it crossed my mind, and I'm not the famous detective of all time with a brilliant mind. But it didn't cross his mind. Pot here, pot there. Okay. So now what? I sure hope we don't go back to the priest and ask him. Oh, what do your paintings mean? Or what your drawings mean, by the way? But honestly, can I maybe talk with my partner? Maybe he figured it out? No. Can I make a connection so he'll be like, oh yeah, that's that. I surely do. So, cash book, Percy Blackford.
Magnifique.
Bishop Mountjoy's request she made copies of the Station of the Cross paintings. Irene forged Station of the Cross painting.
Come now. Think on what... Voila.
Why would he request copies of painting his church already has hanging on its wall? Horace commissioned forgery of Station of the Cross.
The pieces of the puzzle are fine.
Bishop is replacing original artworks from the church with Mademoiselle Court Smith forgeries and then selling the originals. Horace selling original artworks from church. Oh.
It appears that the good bishop has been replacing the church's original artworks with fakes painted by Mademoiselle Court Smythe. He commissioned her to make these forgeries so that no one would notice when the originals disappeared.
Disappearing where, though? You don't think he's selling them, do you?
Why else? Mademoiselle Babagnan appears to have been right about the bishop's connection to the black market. Now, Hastings, we must ask ourselves, where might Bishop Mountjoy be hiding the original paintings from the church before he sells them on?
Where?
We must gain access to the space behind the confessional.
Well, apparently not. Do we do something else? Well, give me... Yeah. Can we use now? Let's take a closer look. Nothing happened. Yeah, wait a second. No. Voila! Like nothing happened and then voila.
Why don't you have a look first?
Do not tell me you are afraid of the dark.
Not the dark, just pitch black, eerie passages in old churches. Poirot, where are we?
If I am not mistaken, this is part of the secret tunnels that were built hundreds of years ago to sneak those that did not agree with the powers of the country out.
And why exactly are we in here?
The why must never be obvious. That is the whole point.
Right.
Heck yeah, let's explore. There's nothing to explore.
Oh.
Similar painting to the penitent Magdalene.
Huh.
Some has quite ruthlessly taken an instrument across the painting. The back of the canvas is visible here. It looks like it was previously used to paint something that looks suspiciously like a monet.
Aha.
In every way, this looks like it could be the original.
We have our third forgery. There is evidence of a much more modern painting on the back of the canvas.
Thank goodness. Don't know how I would explain finding the original in such a state.
Bishop Mountjoy must have discovered the painting that he received from Mademoiselle Court Smythe was one of her forgeries.
And lashed out. Now it makes sense. He's been using this room to store his own private art collection. I can picture him sitting here smug as anything, surrounded by stolen paintings.
What I find most unfortunate
is that not only does he deprive the world of beauty and joy from seeing these works, but he also keeps them in such dark and dank conditions, the old fool. He's even having to light his candle clock to keep from drifting off down here. Such a waste, don't you think, Poirot?
One's opinions are now worth listening to.
I was only voicing my thoughts.
You have thoughts beside those of Mademoiselle Farquhar?
Really, Poirot? You still think so little of me?
When one exclaims such regard for a suspect in a murder investigation, it is hard not to think any other way and comment so.
You may not be so accustomed to the idea of showing, or at least having, some form of empathy for our
There is a difference between empathy and lust.
There is a difference between commenting and being rude and obnoxious.
I was not expecting Monsieur Hastings to be so sensitive on the matter. Perhaps this conversation is best saved for when we are not trapped together.
What was that? Oh, just the bishop's candle clock. I don't know about you, but I've had enough of this place. Let's get out of here. What are you doing, Poirot?
S'il vous plaît, un moment.
The bishop's candle clock has forced me to question everything of the murder scene that I previously thought I knew.
We must return to Mademoiselle Court-Smythe's apartment.
Perhaps that is a job best left for you, by yourself.
The bishop's candle and nail alarm clock has me reconsidering the evidence at the fireplace. I must re-examine it.
Oh.
Only half the grate remains. Irene must be a great fan. Only half. Okay, yeah.
Huh.
Survivors of the fire. Some brand new candles remain intact. I'll take one. The bottle's empty but smells strongly of turpentine.
Oh. Huh.
Something about the candle meal routine now feels odd to me. The necklace with the pin through it, I'll take it. Perhaps I can conduct a little experiment and integrate what really happened here. The sibling of the missing candle, I believe it to have survived due to its distance from the scorch marks, but now I'm not sure. With Bishop Mountjoy's candle alarm clock in mind, I must conduct a small experiment. I'm not really understanding what he wants to do, but we're not done. Or are we? Okay, there would have been a candle here before the heat of the fire melted it. That's correct. Just like the nail in the bishop's candle alarm clock, the spin could have been pushed into the candle like so. And the necklace could have been wrapped around the candle, something like this. As the wax melted, the pin fell. The necklace could have poured over the side, the weight eventually toppling the candle. Time to put this theory to the test.
Et maintenant?
Oh.
I believe myself to be the greatest detective in the most prestigious police force in the world. But I have been duped and swindled, falling directly into the trap laid by the killer. And now I stand here alone, contemplating what is to come next. Monsieur Hastings was quick to make his excuses to retire to his abode and not return to the scene of the crime by my side. I hope there is not something further that troubles him. One does not need added strains at a time when steps must be retraced and a new timeline considered. Sacré! I have spent my time staring into the sun when deceit and deception has taken place in the shadows. A murderer remains free, but the truth of the fire eludes Detective Hercule Poirot no more, and soon neither will their identity. I cannot believe I allowed myself to fall for such a deceptive move. The killer knew I would ask for an alibi, and they knew how to cover their tracks perfectly. Now, though, I have the upper hand. The killer believes that I have extinguished all avenues of my questioning, unaware I know the truth of the fire. I wish Monsieur Hastings were here. I was perhaps too harsh with him. I know of his want for the same as I, the truth. But now I fear that I have lost him to my own tenacious demeanor. Now more than ever do I need my little grey cells working at full capacity. Monsieur Demire and Mademoiselle Babagna. I am glad to say that they both still have alibis, as the show had just reached its second act. I can be sure that neither was involved. Mademoiselle Farquhar. She claims that she was in the dark room developing pictures, and even with this new discovery, her alibi stands. Monsieur Dryden can confirm. Monsieur Christiansen, one of my key suspects, drinking alone except for a brief encounter with Monsieur Demire. But Madame Allen can substantiate his trip to see her at the theater to apologize during the intermission. Which leads us to the good Madame Allen, on stage performing. Innocent. A side note, I must make an effort to see her production. From what I have heard, she sounds quite captivating. The Honorable Bishop Mountjoy. His Compline prayers had not yet begun, but Mademoiselle Warbeck and he were together in what I can only imagine to be an uncomfortable meeting for them both. Her innocence has already been confirmed, although upon learning of how she has been treated, I would not have been surprised. Last but certainly not least, Monsieur Aylesworth, and the article in the newspaper documenting his, as some see, heroic speech amongst the House of Commons is alibi enough for the murder. And where are we left now? Every suspect seemingly as innocent as they were yesterday. But when one looks most innocent, that is when Detective Poirot is most suspicious.
Why do we start here? Talk to Zakaria. And where would he be? Here. Why here? At the cafe or what? Yes, he is.
Finally, a face I can trust.
Everything all right, Poirot?
I'm afraid things could not be further from all right.
Don't tell me the famous Detective Poirot is stumped.
Stumped? No. Perplexed? Oui. Perhaps you can be my perfect distraction.
So what's you reading?
I may not be the celebrated doctor that my father hoped for, but I still like to keep up with recent medical journals.
And what is the latest discovery?
Cocaine is an alkaloid extract from the leaf of the Erythroxylon coca plant, which usually grows in South America. Its most available common from being hydrochloride salt, which can be taken orally, intracellularly, or intravenously. The peak effect ranges from 1 to 90 minutes depending on the route of administration. Cardiovascular effects of cocaine use. The most common symptom of cocaine use is chest pain, Okay, and the most common cardiac disorders is ischemia and acute coronary syndrome, which can occur with all routes of cocaine intake. Other cardiac problems include myocarditis, cardiomyopathy, and arrhythmias. Cocaine increases heart rate, blood pressure, and myocardial contractility, of all which increase myocardial oxygen demand. With increasing availability of number of cocaine users continues to escalate, with many findings that can be considered positive effect of the drug, outweighing the potential and likely hazardous risks.
This particular article is about the effect of cocaine on the user's body. I thought I liked to have a good time, but that drug, too much for me.
What makes you say that?
I wouldn't want my heart beating at the speed of a locomotive. Here, read for yourself.
Have you seen Monsieur Ashworth since his heart attack?
I haven't actually. I gave him my office telephone number and said he could call anytime, but not a peep.
You sound surprised.
He probably wants to keep his health issues out of the public eye. Hence me offering to help, but he seems to be just fine, surprisingly.
Your question means your Ellsworth health?
Do you think there is a chance he could have faked it all? How those little gray cells of yours work sometimes. Amazing!
Please, my friend.
You're serious? Don't know why, but I suppose he could have.
At this point, anything is a possibility. I think a visit to Monsieur Aylesworth at the Royal Society of Art is in order. Mademoiselle Babagnan, a pleasure as always.
Good morning, gentlemen.
I'm afraid my pleasantries are to be cut short this morning. I have a most pressing matter. Good morning, mademoiselle. My apologies for my earlier departure.
That's quite all right. Mr. Demir informed me of the facts.
The case has taken a direction I had not foreseen, and it now leaves me.
I will not stand here and listen to you wallow. How can I help?
Merci, mademoiselle. That is all for now.
Well, okay. Bye.
Just a moment. I'm coming.
What a great commotion coming from behind the door. What on earth is Monsieur Aylesworth up to?
Ah, detective. What can I do for you?
Could you spare a moment of your time? If you are feeling up to it?
Why wouldn't I?
You are recovering from a potentially fatal heart attack. I would not want to aggravate or upset you in any way.
Your movements of the night, on the night of Mademoiselle Court-Smith's death.
Are we really going over this again?
It would help me clear up some discrepancies.
Very well. As I've said before, I was in the House of Commons addressing the bench, as you know. And then I was speaking with the reporter.
The editor, Nathaniel Dryden.
If you say so, at the news office.
Monsieur Aylesworth is sticking to his story. I did not expect that it would be easy to unsettle a politician of his experience.
You have not contacted Monsieur Demir.
And why would I? Oh, to thank him for his help at the museum. Yes, of course. I've been meaning to send him a thank you gift.
One would think that thanking the man that saved your life would be further up your priorities.
I'm a very busy man, as I'm sure you understand. And I don't know whether I'd go as far as saying he saved my life.
On the contrary, had Monsieur Demir not been there with his extensive medical training, And a man of your age. Perhaps you would not be here talking with me today.
If Monsieur Ellsworth is not prepared to tell the truth, perhaps I can use his own pompous nature and guilt against him.
The nurse said herself that I had the heart of a young athlete. It'll take more than that to slow me down.
Well, I would not take that as a sign to start a sporting career. Merci, monsieur.
I find myself in a most problematic position. My associate, Monsieur Hastings, is nowhere to be found when I need him the most. There must be someone else that I can call upon. Someone to fill the shoes of Monsieur Hastings. For the time, the obvious choice would be Monsieur Demire. But I wonder if he is suited to the task that is required.